Hey everyone, it's been a little while since I uploaded after I had not uploaded for a long time. Um, then uploaded again, and then, yeah, it's been 2 weeks, 3 weeks maybe. Before that, it was probably 2 years of just nothing on my channel. So anyway, I'm here to give you a handy-dandy DIY, and of course, it's with stuff laying around. So anyway, I just real quick want to show you guys my craft area real quick behind me. So there's some of it, just a lot of my jewelry stuff mostly, and then some knickknacks and some tools and stuff. That behind me is actually stuff I started from seed for the garden this year. I'll show you all that later. And then behind me back there is mostly like sewing and fabric stuff. So, and then over here we've got like stuff I found, like clothing, dresses and things like that I found at the secondhand store for ridiculously cheap, and then snatched it up because the fabric is really cool, or there's something about it that like I can really repurpose and put to good use. Yeah, I know that you're probably going to mention in the comments. I just know because people are like this. They say things in comments asking about the one thing they can find wrong. Yes, that is a dead fish tank. There's no fish in it. The plants in it are barely still alive. I broke it down because it had a serious algae problem, and also I thought about selling it. Apparently nobody wants it, so I'm just gonna probably clean it out and start over from scratch. So over here we've got my dress form. I finally got a dress form. So yeah, I've got a number of sewing projects going on at the moment. So they're all on hold because I'm waiting for just one specific type of fabric that I ran out of. I had this really pretty, I guess, crystal clear, iridescent crystal organza. Ran out of it, couldn't find it in the store, could only find it on Amazon, and it's taking it like 3 weeks to get here. I think it's coming from like China or Taiwan or some ridiculous place like that. But yeah, so waiting on fabric. So yeah, that tends to be a problem when you're trying to become a seamstress, or you are a seamstress and you run out of something and you can't find it. So in the meantime, I've had to cook up other things to keep y'all entertained with. So let's get started. I'm just going to start off by showing you what it is we're doing and what I've got here. So, alright, y'all know me. The favorite color is purple. So I've got this glass and metal Moroccan style lamp that I found, I think I found it at the secondhand store or at the dollar store. I can't remember where I got it, and it's really not relevant. So yeah, it's actual glass. Like, yes, if you play with that too much, you will cut yourself. It's got this nice handy hook at the top, and it opens and closes pretty easily. Well, maybe. Come on, open. Thank you. So, and I've got, yeah, put on your sunglasses for this video. This strip of LED lights that actually they are adhesive on the back and they stick on, and they are dimmable. So I bought these several months ago for a different purpose, ended up not using them for that purpose and used something else instead. And so they're going to be used for this. So I've got a clearly Canadian bottle. Just mostly because it'll fit in here, and I'll show you why that's important here very soon. So you'll need an empty glass bottle, a lantern of some kind. You can find them on eBay too, actually, pretty cheap. People sell these things. But this is mainly for people who don't want to ruin the inside of a lantern with candle wax. I've made the mistake of putting candles directly into lanterns before and regretted it later on down the road because it was such a pain in the ass to get all this wax out, and I couldn't open and shut the door, and it was a mess, and it smelled funny. So, I mean, after you use a scented candle, and then you try to use tea lights, and you have all these different smells going on in there. So, yeah. And whatever lantern you use, make sure it's actually got holes in the top for ventilation, because soot can build up in these things, and it's very unattractive. And also, you want the heat to be able to escape, otherwise your glass can crack. It's not likely to happen, but it's possible, so just my advice would be avoid it altogether by making sure the top is ventilated. Alright, so as far as these things, you can find them on Amazon, on eBay, Walmart, hell, I think even the dollar store has them these days. But they're these handy dandy lights. This one's, I think, like 16 feet long. It's, like I said, it's got this backing on it that can come off to be used. Stick on, you know. However, I advise against removing the backing when you're using these things, because once you stick these lights to something, it's very difficult to remove them, and you'll find yourself with something that's got these lights stuck on it. I mean, I've got them on my craft shelf here. I'll just show you real quick. So what they're actually on there with is actually packing tape. It's much easier to pull them off of packing tape and off of duct tape than it is to remove the adhesive. That way, in case I relocate or I rearrange my craft area down here, all I have to do is basically pull off the packing tape, and I don't have to fuck with messing around with adhesive. It'll be so much easier to deal with. But I love these stupid little lights. They just, I mean, they're also over there on my DVD cabinet, or shelf rather. So just one strip is on right now. I've got 2 strips, but there's just the one right now. But yeah, I love these stupid things. I would love to have, we're blue. Whoop. Okay. There we go. Yeah, if you're just a hint for other YouTubers out there, if like you're filming and suddenly everything on the screen turns blue, pan over to something white or something neutral, and then just pan back over, and you're good. Alright, so the first thing I also want to mention is, yes, you can use something battery operated for these lanterns. However, the problem is constantly having to change the stupid batteries. It's a pain in the butt, especially if you plan on using the lantern daily or for a source of light like all day long. So yeah, there's that. I'm sure I'll find a fun use for this. I just don't know yet. Alright, so one more thing about these LED strip lights is you can get these connectors. Let me dim them so I can show you what I want to show you without blinding you. They come with these connectors that attach, that attach at these spots right here. These little spots right here, there's positive and negative, and the little connectors basically just clip on kind of like a potato chip bag clip. It's like it's 2 wires with a little clip at each end, and then basically you can connect them. That way, if you want to make your strip longer, or if you need to cut your strip to make it shorter because you're only going to use it for like a short little project, a short project that's only going to use it like a couple feet, then you can clip it and then reconnect the leftovers to another strip at a later period in time when you find a use for them. So in this video I am going to be cutting my strip lights. So I will get to all that, but first what I want to do is get the camera mounted up above the workspace so that I have both my hands to work. That would be highly useful. And from there I will go over Alright, first things first. You're going to need one of these lanterns. Like I said, it doesn't have to be brand new, it doesn't have to be anything all that big or fancy. It's just as long as you like it, and it's got an access door. It's got to have enough of like a gap in the seam, or at least a spot where you can thread a cord through. So you're going to need your lantern, and also it needs to be ventilated at the top. Alright. You're going to need Scotch tape. Like I said, it doesn't have to be actual Scotch brand, doesn't even have to be all that fancy. So, but definitely you're going to need some kind of clear tape. Duct tape's fine, but clear is better. A bottle. Glass I recommend because it's heavier. Plastic is going to end up sideways in your lantern, just because of the weight that you put on plastic. It's just, glass bottles have a lower center of gravity and they're just more sturdy in my opinion, and they're just better. So you're going to need a pair of scissors. I've just got a pair of like basic craft scissors here. Again, there's purple. Alright, you're going to need a paper towel and some kind of spray cleaner, or you can just use some soap and water or just plain water, but I'll show you what this is for in just a minute. And of course, last but not least, you're going to need your lights. So, they can be these LED strip lights, and they can be these things. These are battery operated, like I said, but I'm trying to do away with battery operated lights in this lantern because it's too much of a hassle to change the batteries all the time. You can get these cute little, these I guess fairy lights you call them. You can get these that are electrical and plug in. I've got them in the bedroom over top of my clothes racks and desk. I'll show you guys that in another video, I think, or actually maybe I already showed you, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, you can get these that plug in. They're pretty inexpensive, and also they're waterproof most of the time. They're indoor, outdoor. The ones that plug in, that is. So you can actually create cute little things to go in your gardens and whatnot. So, but I do recommend getting something that plugs in, especially if you're going to use your lantern on a daily basis. So, first thing you want to do is whatever lights you get, plug them in before you do anything else with them. This has never happened to me personally. I've been pretty lucky, but some people will tackle a project with lights. They'll nail something down with lights on it, or they'll get started and then plug in their lights and go, oh fuck, the lights don't work. I think anyone who's decorated a Christmas tree before has experienced that, and hopefully has learned always plug it in before you put it on. So there's that. But these are giving me a headache just looking at them right this second because they're like right in my eyes. So I'm going to turn them off. And yeah, these are dimmable, by the way. Turn them off and set them aside. I'm not going to need them for a couple more minutes. So the first thing you're going to want to do is get all this shit out of the way. Yes, I curse in all my videos. I've got a potty mouth. I can't help it. I mean, I could, but why? Why? It's more fun to curse. So, you're going to want to inspect your lantern. Take a good look at the inside. If it's got some dust and crud in there, you know, it doesn't hurt to clean it up a little. So I'm just going to hit the inside of that lantern with this glass cleaner. I'm going to take my paper towel and just give it a once over to get rid of any dust or funk that's in there. And I'm going to get the inside of the glass too, just to get it good and clean. So, take pride in your work, people. Take pride in your work, alright? I'm going to get the inside of the door. And look at that, some crap actually came off. Yeah. So, get that to dry. It's a little damp in there still. Alright, now I'm going to fold my paper towel over and use the damp area that I didn't use. And just kind of get the dust off the top of this. Like I said, these things don't have to be in perfect condition, especially, I mean, if you get one second hand, that's good and well. Just make sure if it's got like candle wax or something like that in it, just make sure you do your best to get rid of it. The candle wax, that is. And clean up your lantern before you start, just so that way, I find that when I clean something before I start on it, I feel so much better about it and it looks better just in general. Alright, may as well get the bottom too, since we're here. Alright. Alright. That cap's nasty. Alright, so I'm going to put that aside so I can use it again if I need to. Right along with the glass cleaner. Alrighty, so I am sipping a glass of wine as per the usual in all my videos. Alright, so the lantern's clean. I'm just going to leave that just like that, and I'm going to set it aside. Now, the bottle. Make sure it is good and clean on the inside. Reason being is if you use a bottle for something like this and it's got like leftover soda pop or juice or something in it, First biggest concern is it's going to attract bugs. If you get bugs in your house, they're going to find a place to go. They're going to go in there. They're going to lay eggs, whatnot. Specifically, I'm talking about like fruit flies and gnats, things like that. So you want to make sure the bottle is actually clean. And this one, oh god, this has got something in it. That's kind of gross. Oh well. I don't have any other glass bottles right now, so this is it for me. So. What's also important is to clean the outside, because if the outside's not clean, then your tape won't stick. Alright, so I'm just going to stick that on my finger real quick, hit it with some of the glass cleaner, and boom. Here we go. Okay. Trying to get this stuff, like what I'm doing, within range of camera shot. It's kind of difficult though. So, alright, it's good and dry. Alright, and I think this paper towel is spent, so I'm just going to toss it now in the trash. And the glass cleaner, done with it, so bye-bye. Alright, so, your bottle. Now, most of these LED light strip things, I'm going to go ahead and unplug it. There's no point in having it plugged in if I'm going to be chopping it to pieces. Well, not chopping it to pieces, but you know what I mean. Alright, so you're going to have a plug, okay? Obviously. Not trying to insult anyone's intelligence here, just trying to be helpful and thorough. Now, then you're going to have a connector that connects the plug to the control unit, okay? Then the control unit's going to have a connector that connects directly to the light strip. Now, the reason they come like this is so that you can bypass the control unit. You can take it off and push the plug end directly into the light. That way, if you know you don't want them dimmable, you can swap it out like that. Also, some of these brands are universal. Say you've got like 2 or 3 of these things laying around. One of them, the light strip is bad and gone, but you saved the wiring. And then another one has the wiring's gone, but you saved the strip. You can swap. You can basically combine those two to make a working unit, if that makes sense. So yeah, I hope I explained that well. If I didn't and you have questions, just post them in the comment section. Alright, so I'm going to pull this off because it's so much easier to do this with the plug off, because it just adds a little bit of weight. So, setting that aside, and I'm going to set aside the dimmer switch. Set that aside. Now, here's what you're going to do. You want to take your lantern, and see this length right here from the light strip to the actual plug thing? You're going to want to make sure you know how much space you need inside the lantern, going in and coming out. So there's enough room there to where I could wrap the bottom of this around this bottle and then turn the bottle facing out so that this is dangling, and then close it back up and still have like room. There's, you don't want to have, you want to make sure what you're trying to do will fit and that you can actually close your lantern, which I'm going to do right now, and yes, it closes. See? First you want to make sure this will fit through the gap, and then you want to make sure you're using a bottle that is a size that lends itself well to being able to have enough room for this and then to hang out of the door, if that makes sense. You don't want this to be too short, because then you won't have a place to put it in the door, okay? So, we've already established that we have enough length here and that it's not so thick that it'll fit through. It'll fit through in the door, and it's long enough, alright? So, we're going to put the lantern aside again. Now, listen to me very carefully. I mean it, listen. So, on these light strips, like I said, they come with an adhesive backing with a cover over the adhesive. Do not remove the cover. Never remove the cover. I'm going to repeat it again. Do not remove the cover, because once you remove that cover and you stick this on something, it is very difficult to remove it. You will most likely ruin your light strip by trying to remove it directly after you've stuck it to something. So, like I said, use clear plastic packing tape, use Scotch tape, you can even use zip ties, bread bag ties, whatever. Just try to keep this on as long as you can, because it'll then, if you maintain this backing on top of the adhesive, this will be able to, you can reuse it. It'll lend itself so much better to being reused or moved around in the future, okay? Also, in the middle of your project, if you mess up and you've peeled the backing off, then you've got to start your project all over. So, just please take my advice on this. Alright, now, putting this on the bottle. Alright, now, you're going to want to start at the bottom. Doesn't matter if you go clockwise, counterclockwise, but you are going to want to go in a spiral around the bottle, and it doesn't have to be close together, it doesn't have to be far apart, but here's what we're going to do. I'm going to sit that up there, and these things do wiggle around on you while you're trying to wrap. They'll flip over a bunch of times because you're basically like changing the angle or the direction of the curl every time. First thing you're going to do, take a little bit of your Scotch tape, or a lot, doesn't matter, and you're going to want to tape it at the bottom, okay? And you can go over top of the little yellow lights. It's not going to hurt it, okay? But I like things to be stable and sturdy, so I'm going to cover up that little spot where the connector is. And like I said, you can get extra connectors. Some of these strip lights, the brand that you buy, will automatically come with extra connectors in the box, so that if you need to splice, you can splice these things if you need to. I've got some connectors, I just don't know where they are right now. I would show them to you if I could find them, but not right this second, sorry. Okay, so you're going to get that going. I'm just going to throw on an extra piece of tape for good measure after I make a complete round. So, let's see, here it is curling up, getting in the way. That's just what it's going to do, and you're just going to have to cope with it, sorry. Alright, now another piece of tape where I already put one. Okay, press that down real good just so you can see. There we go. I probably should have zoomed the camera in a little better, but excuse me. I wanted y'all to see like my entire like range of hand motion here. Alright, now around and around. Probably should have taped that down too. Yeah, I'm going to tape that down temporarily because it's being just such a pain in the buttocks. In the arse. Just going to do this. And there we go. Now, stay put. Okay, so here we go. Round and round. What goes around comes around. I'll tell you why, round and round. I don't know if there's any Rat fans watching this video right now, but I couldn't resist that one. I love 80s hair metal, I love Rat, they're awesome. We're awesome, still are awesome. So anyway, you know, you gotta get off subject on these videos every once in a while just for fun, or otherwise you're just, it's too much of it feels too much of like a job when you don't let loose and make little jokes and little references. Alright, you want to tape again after a few rounds, just so that it doesn't like sink down on itself like a slinky, alright? Then around again. And you don't have to do this like I'm doing it like right up against itself. You can leave space like that. So, just depends on how bright you want it. I'm going to be using this pretty much on a daily basis, probably a lot throughout the day. So, I want there to be plenty of light emanating from this lantern. Alright, so I'm made 2 more rounds past where I originally started. So I'm going to make one more, then I'm going to tape it again. Alright, one more. time for more tape. And I don't know if you all know the one-handed trick for Scotch tape, but you slip your pinky under there, press it against another finger to get it on there real good, and then da-da. So yeah, takes a little bit of extra dexterity, but you know, I learned that learning how to wrap Christmas presents when I was a kid. When I was a kid, we didn't have these things like little devices that you could attach the tape to and stick it on top of your hand with Velcro and then do stuff. No, I grew up in like the 80s and 90s, and you had to like teach yourself how to do Scotch tape with one hand while you held the wrapping paper down like that with the other hand. So I think a lot of people in my generation have gotten good at that over the years. Maybe, I don't know. I know plenty of people my age have never wrapped a present before, and really don't know things that you'd think our generation, like we would all know, you know. Alright, so it's getting a little looser up here because I've hit the narrow spot, so it's time to get out the tape again. And since that's wiggling, I'm going to go ahead and use both hands on the tape just to kind of secure this first wiggly bit down. You know, and don't be afraid of using too much tape on this, because honestly, the more tape you use, the more stable your light strip will be, which it's just better. It's much easier to handle and to deal with when it's not squirming and sliding and wriggling and jiggling and whatnot. So, got that relatively tight. Alright. Alright, whoop, got loose again. Crap. Come on, stay put. I'm just going to go over both of these this time. Come on, there we go. And tape it. And I might go over this entire thing with clear packing tape when I'm done, just to kind of make sure it stays put. And just so you know, peeling tape off of these things does not hurt it. It really takes quite a bit of effort, more than you'd think, to damage the light side of these light strips. So I mean, I've found them super cheap, and I've also bought them kind of expensive in the past. So I've got experience with both expensive and cheap. Honestly, cheap ones are not that much better. I mean, not much worse than the expensive ones. So I guess it just depends on what your budget is and what your priorities are. You know, saving $1 on these things is not going to really impede their function. I mean, it's not just cheap doesn't necessarily mean crappy, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So, down again. So I'm trying to keep the top ones, I mean, they're going to be spaced out because of the curve of the bottle anyway. There are going to be gaps between them. But, you know, I think it kind of lends itself well to the whole purpose of it being a lantern, because with a lantern, it's not bright the whole entire height of the lantern. If you think of a lantern, you think of the light concentrated towards the bottom. So, uh-oh, here comes the cat. No, you've got food. Alright, reaching the end here of my light strip roll. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go ahead and taper it off, and then tape it off. Alright. One more little round over top of the nozzle up here, the bottleneck. So, just going to get some tape on those three right there, and then push it on real good. When you're putting tape on anything, doesn't matter if it's something like this or a package you're going to send through the mail, make sure your tape is pushed down all the way. I see a lot of people take a piece of tape and then just go, they put it down on something and then just go, like, that's not good enough. Like, that's not going to stay there. So, alright. Okay, now, splicing. I'm about to splice this. I'm going to cut the part that I don't want, and I'm going to leave the part that I do want. So, see these little little dots right here that look like copper? They look like they're like pill-shaped copper color. That's where you splice these things, always and ever. Okay, don't just randomly cut it somewhere, because then, you know, you'll have to remove that part anyway in order to splice where it belongs if you want to reuse it. So, cutting down the line right there. Alright, back how it belongs. Get in there, go on. Okay, stay put. Alright, fine, I'm getting the tape. Don't cooperate, you get the tape. Just gonna do it on the back right there, and then down, and there. Now, it'll stay put. I don't have to worry about it getting tangled up and stuff in my light and electrical bin in the back. Put aside, sip your wine, or your beer, doesn't matter to me. So, more tape. You're going to tape off this end here. I'm just going to put it going that way so it curls around. Now, of course, you can do this inside the bottle, but what happens is heat gets trapped inside the bottle, and then what happens is your light strip will get crinkled when you try to remove it from the bottle. It'll actually like bend and crinkle and get messed up. So, and also like it'll be coiled up in itself, and the light will be blocked. So basically it's just kind of a waste of time. It's better to put it on the outside, that way you're able to make the most of every light on here. Alright, so alright, I'm going to apply tape again in a few different places. Nice big long piece. I think it's what, about 3.5 inches, something like that. Tape again, and again push down real good. Another maybe 2.5 inches of tape. Push down. Let's get it on there. Okay, same thing on the other side. Do a little bit at a time because you can peel it off if you mess up. It's easier. There we go. And always overlap your pieces too when you do this part, so that they all stay secure together. I'm going to put another reinforcement piece up here on this curl in case that tries to kind of work its way out slowly. Okay, there we go. Awesome. Alright, now I'm going to undo this bit I did on the bottom. Hold that in place, and that piece of tape doesn't want to come off, so I'm just going to curl it around. No harm done. Alright, so now it sits upright. Alright, so I'm going to plug it in real quick, and I'm not going to bother using this just yet. And, oh, it's not going to reach if I do that. Alright, never mind. I'll put this on there. End to end. Just that extra 12 inches does a lot. Wow, I'll take that out of context. Okay. Plug. There you are. Alright. Whew. That's bright. Already looks pretty good. Alright. And dim it. And brighten it. And turn it off. Well, I'm happy with that so far. Now, I thought about telling you guys to get double-sided tape to put inside, inside your lantern. so that your bottle doesn't wiggle around. But then it would be difficult, yuck, to remove the bottle every time you want to like swap out lights or clean in there or something. And you just have to change the tape out every time you wanted to fiddle with it, so screw that. So what I'm going to do is just going to stick this in here. Okay. I'm going to put it towards the hinge because there is a fatter gap that way, I believe. Nope, there's not actually. Nope. Fat gaps over here. By the handle. Get it in there so it's in the center. Alright. And now I'm going to get up from here and I'm going to plug it in the bedroom, and we'll see from there how it turned out. Alright everybody, moment of truth, and yes, I know that you can see some of the bottle from the top, but oh wow, that like really lights up this corner, which is exactly what I wanted it to do. Yes, you can be in the video. You can be famous. Yes. Yes. Mama's busy. Mommy's busy. Alright. That corner is lighting up very nicely. I detest overhead light. Notice there's not an overhead light in this room. Overhead light gives me a freaking headache because it looks so terrible. So, this, on the other hand, like little splashes of ambient light here and there, is far more aesthetic, in my opinion. So yeah, nice little light. Me likes, me likes. So, there it is. Alright, so that's all for today, I guess, at least lighting wise. I might do another video tonight. Have to see. So yeah, I hope you found this video enjoyable and helpful and whatnot. And damn it, cat! No! Get out from under my feet! Sorry about that. Anyway, anyhow, I hope you found this video helpful, despite me stepping on a cat, my cat. I hope you found it enjoyable, and I hope that you find a way to actually achieve this craft if you're looking to do so. So, there's that. As always, like, subscribe, and share, do all that stuff. Comment with questions, remarks, or whatever. So, I'll see you kids later.